Okay, let's begin with the new module Enterprise Java Bean. First, let us understand the term enterprise. What do you mean by enterprise? I'll display one presentation slide. What is enterprise Java Bean? We have seen in the last few sessions about the Java beans. So the bean is a software component to build a customized applications and customized modules. You can use the Java beans like a plug and play in options from the existing program. For example, very good example when tape recorders. So physical tape recorders, probably you might seen those tape recorders. In the beginning, some tape recorders came into existence, basic versions like inserting cassette, forward, backward options, and increasing volume options or decreasing volume options, and reduction of noise options, etc. Gradually, those uh, tape recorders extended with the Bluetooth option. You are not replacing the whole the tape recorder. You are provided a extended Bluetooth option for the tape recorder. You want to play rather than inserting the cassettes into the cassette box. You are playing from another device like TV. You are playing from another device like mobile phones. Right. Then gradually it is improved from cassette magnetic tapes to the magnetic discs. CD came into existence. Again, online. Today, nowadays, everything is available online. You need not have the physical device for playing the uh, music. So, this is one example of Java Bin play and plugin modular components. Now, that is a simple Java beans. Those are the simple Java beans. Now, let us understand what is enterprise. What is petty shop? Usually, petty shop, pawn shops, one owner, limited number of customers. Then switch to the provisional store, one or two persons serving to the customers. Again, limited number of customers within 500. Then gradually, if you move on towards the malls, stores, big stores, around 50 to 60 people serving to the customers. Here, the customer range little higher, means the number of customers are more compared to your provisional store or the pawn shop. When you come across like Amazon store, it might be online or offline. If you go with the offline example, Big Bazaar is the good example for that. Metro is the another example for that. You can call Metro as an enterprise application because it's spread across the world, globe, and each metro which will have more than 2000 2000 service providers from including the security personnel to the salesperson at the counter side. Those applications which usually those application in the distributed model. Metro, if Bangalore Metro, in the Bangalore itself, around four different in different areas, Metro is present. In four different area also, around approximately 1500 to 2000 personnel are serving the customers, from parking area to the security check to the counter sales to the cash vending machine to the then spy persons. Even though technology is very improved, also the man personals is needed to maintain all the customers. See, metro, four outlets in Bangalore. If you look into the metropolitan cities throughout India as well in global, metro has more than 50 outlets. So that's such a huge business for daily needs. In the same way, that is one good example for the physical existence of that metro. So another best example for online platform, Amazon, Flipkart, etc. Again, Ola, Uber, all those OLX. So those are all online virtual platform. So since still we are calling it as an enterprise because huge number of personal service providers are involved in various cities, various district, various village places. Even though they are able to reach nowadays remotely without or much little disturbance. Getting so such kind of the applications are enterprise application. Usually the enterprise application which will have minimum three big module. Minimum three. One is the employee module, another one is the service module, another one is production, another one is manufacturing, another one is quality check, another one is accounts department. So many departments are involved. Such kind of the business applications, we call it as an enterprise. Okay. So to develop the Java Bean for such kind of applications is called as enterprise Java Beans. Usually that enterprise Java Bean supports the distributed in nature. So when it is distributed, you need to connect the application to access each and every component which present in the that distributed architecture. Okay, let us look into the distributed architecture of EJB. It's a simplified version of EJB. So here, look into the picture. Here again, EJB also supports a model view controller architecture, MEC architecture, because even though it is distributed, it will support the remote clients to access their websites, their services remotely. So when we are doing the program on enterprise Java Bean concepts like session bean, message driven bean, and entity Java Bean, we have two options to select the interface. One is local interface, another one is remote interface. So when you ask, when the client and the server in the same machine, you need to have the selection of local interface. Suppose when client is present in the different machine, server is running at the different machine, then you need to have the remote interface access from client to server. So two kind of interfaces. So here local and remote. From the figure, client. So client is all the clients are maintained under this naming service JNDI lookup. So all the client here, this diagram illustrate about the remote interface. Remote interface. So how that remote interface is going to used by here is client is requesting remotely with remote method invocation. So RMA is a concept of accessing the remote machines from one machine to another machine over the internet. So client request with the help of RMA, remote method invocation. So when request goes through the RMA interface or remote interface, that request which will go to the two. One is home interface, another one is remote interface. If it is a local client, means both client and the server is in the same premises, same within the application, rather than same premises within the application. If client and client is present in the same environment, then that request goes to the home interface. Otherwise, client is present in the outside environment, that it will redirect to the remote interface. Best example, so metro service providing service providing personals mans, they are local to that application because they are part of that application, so we can call them as a local client to that application. So whereas we are the outside the metro, just we are the just customers. We are accessing service of them. So we are the remote customers, remote clients to that metro application. Getting, depending on the local request or the remote request, the request which will redirect to the home interface or remote interface. So again, EJB Enterprise Java Beans also it uses the container. How Servlet uses container, how JSP uses container. Here EJB also uses the web service container. So when Enterprise Java Bean, you are going to build a business logic for the Enterprise Java Beans. Each Java Bean which will spans a EJP object. So to access individual objects, when client request comes, it spawns a new thread for providing that service to the client. This is a simplified architecture of the TJB to make you understand. Is it clear? Then, so one more a beautiful picture. You can think of enterprises like this. See, our railway system also, it is a huge system, big system. Lakh together of employees are present to provide a service to the end customers. So we can think of our railway, Indian railway system is also an enterprise application. The higher CTC, what they have developed, it's an enterprise, a distributed architecture it supports. Getting? So if you are unable to imagine what is enterprise, then you look into this the picture, you are able to understand what is enterprise. Means crowded customer services which will be present at the enterprise level. Means complex systems are existing to provide a service to the customers. So definition, an EJB Enterprise Java Bean is a component of the Java to Enterprise Edition architecture that primarily provides business logic to a Java to Enterprise Edition application and interacts with other server-side Java to Enterprise Edition components. Client, suppose if you are build a client form is JSP or HTML or PHP, that client request form is also a part of your enterprise application only, that you can treat as one component. Another component database, another component Java Bean, another component any other middleware APIs, in another component the server container, right? Several components are involved in this to provide the service to the client, not just simply submitting the form, fetching the information and providing. No, not like that, because they have to maintain all the log info. Tomorrow customer may claim, I am not logged into your system, I did not order. If he claims, you are able to answer for that. For that reason, you need to maintain every minute information of the customer. Getting? So EJB is a component of J2W architecture that primarily provides what it provides, business logic to a J2W application and interacts with other server side J2W components. Okay, now gradually we are moving towards a technical side of enterprise Java Beans. It is enterprise in the name of enterprise Java Beans. Java is present. Again, it is a Java programming language. It supports the platform independent features. Java feature is platform independent. Even EJB also a part of Java programming. So by default, this is also a platform independent. Take the same example, IRCTC example or the Amazon example. How many of you are booking railway tickets from remote different systems? Nowadays, you are accessing through Android phones, iOS phones, BlackBerry, MI2, those phones. Some different operating systems are there. HiOS operating system, right? Somebody accessing through the desktop machines with the older Windows. Somebody accessing with the latest Windows version. Somebody accessing with Ubuntu. Somebody accessing with Fedora. Getting it is a platform independent feature also supported by the EJB. So EJB server handles system level services. Very important statement. EJB servers handles system level services such as threading, security, transactions, and persistence. As I said, tomorrow customer may not deny the I am not booked the product from your end. So if he denies the that one to accept your product at the delivery point, then what you are going to do? Simply you are ignoring that customer. If you ignore that, you are there is a chance of losing that customer from your end permanently. So to provide the correct customer, you need to track of every information of the customer. You need to provide the security to the customer who is going to be logging into your application. Amazon or the IRCTC. They are providing the username, password as well as the which one captcha code in the IRCTC before logging into. They are initiating a thread for your request, and they are committing the transactions which you are going to book, and finally it is going to be persist into a EJB objects, and finally it is recorded onto the database. All these system level services means providing the resources to the client request. Clients are made from the client side, request made from the client side to provide the services to the clients at the system level. That is maintained by this EJB server. The developer of the EJB class focuses on writing business logic rather than system level services. These built-in properties of EJB server is providing services at the system level, threading, security, transaction, and persistence. Whereas, as a developer, today, tomorrow, you are going to become a Java developer for distributed applications. If you are using this concept of enterprise Java Beans, rather than you are concentrating on threading, security, transaction, etc., and so on, that will anyhow it is by default is taken care by the JJB server. As a developer, what you need to concentrate on, it's concentrate on business logic rather than system level service. For IRCTC, most of you use, that's why I have taken up that IRCTC. IRCTC, what is the business logic of IRCTC? Indian Railway ticket booking system. IRCTC, what is the business logic? In the name itself, booking the tickets, right? Booking the tickets, providing all your traveler information along with co-passenger information, date of birth, insurance if you needed insurance, payment types, payment option, Again, if you want to save the information of the customer, saving those customer for later access, quick access, all the things which with respect to the ticket booking, ticket cancellation, ticket reserve, right? So if you are a woman more than 65 years aged, then lower birth allocation, right? Middle berth. If you are traveling alone as a single lady, then window side single seat is allocation. See, this is the business logic which involved in the IRCTC system. Developer most concentrate on business logic rather than how we can provide security, how we can create transaction, etc. And so on. That will taken care by EJB server. Getting? What are the benefits? So EJB container provides system level services to enterprise beans. The bean developer can concentrate on solving business problems. The very first benefit to the developer as a developer is, with respect to this developer point of view, it provides the system level services. As a developer, what you need to concentrate on? Concentrate on solving your business problems. Okay, very first benefit. Second benefit, the beans and not the clients contain the application's business logic. So bean contains applications business logic. The client developer. Here the client developer is client side form. Like it might be login form, it might be processing form. Those forms are called as client forms. Can focus on the presentation of the client. Client developer need not to worry about the business logic which is going to be developed by the business logic developer. Client developer has to concentrate on only the client side because it supports MVC architecture. Entire architecture. Enterprise applications are entire more than 3 tier is entire architecture. The clients are thinner, a benefit that is particularly important for clients that run on small devices. So usually the client login form or processing forms are the thinner in nature. Thinner, don't physically measure this thinner. Thinner means it will, yesterday Naina was asked about that native API. So using native API, they are building a thinner client application. Okay, because so nowadays 2 terabytes of things we can store in our mobile phone. 1 TB supported, six micro cards are supported, etc. and so on. Right. Earlier days, resource was limited. In those cases, you need to because IRCTC is now accessing through your mobile phone. So if it is heavy weighted client form, to load that client form itself, it takes a little more time compared to the thin client form. Right. To avoid such difficulty, because IRCTC booking is similar to like a gambling, right? Why? Because when the seats are limited, multiple customer from different locations, they are reserving the seat. If time passes, there is a chances of losing the booking the seats also, right? So it's similar to your playing games or like gambling, gambling in the, especially in seasoned booking. This is exactly similar to gambling only, right? Okay. So if you cannot blame the application provider if your system fails to load the page. It might depends on several factors, not only the thicker client page. It might depend on the data speed, which internet speed which you are using. It might depend on your operating system, which is loaded with full of cache, etc. and so on. It's not only depends on that thinner. If you provide the thinner client kind of the forms, then it improves the loading performance of that application. So client developer needs to concentrate on developing the in the client forms. Enterprise beans are portable components. So the application assembler can build new applications from existing beans. So as I said, beans are reusable components. Plug and play features are developed. Most of the time that beans are independent to any of the applications. You can make use of them in your any of the device. For a very good example is here earring, what we call it, so mic, what it is called, uh, to listening music we are using what it is, hearing, right. For example, another good example is this one, charging your mobile. Previously there was a charger was exist with the specific mobile. Nowadays they made it as any mobile you can connect, you can charge. Means independent of the device shapes, the port should be supported, that's it. Otherwise remaining everything, means independently they have developed, you can play, you can plug and charge any device. That kind of the development module is called modular development. So the Java Bean supports such kind of rules. Most of the time it's independent of the applications, means you can carry that and use according to your usage. So when to use enterprise beans? When it is required, when it is required, the application must be scalable. As I said, if it is a 10 customer, 20 customer, you need not to go with the enterprise because it is cost effective. Cost building the enterprise application is it's a cost oriented, and as well as the complexity is more. So serving 10 customer or 50 customer or 100 customer, you need not to go with the enterprise bean. You go with the normal Java bean itself. That is enough. So if you want to serve the lakh together of customers, crores together of customers remotely, then you go with enterprise bean. So the application of when to use these kind of enterprise beans, when the application must be scalable. Then second, transactions must ensure the data integrity. As I said, tomorrow customer should not deny, I am not booked the ticket. They should not deny later point of time. So you need to maintain the transaction where that data is originated, who has originated, which IP, which device IP originated that data, what he has sent that data, whether it is received at the end the same data without any modification. All that data integrity transaction, these enterprise beans are going to be ensured. So if you want to have this feature, data integrity features in the transactions, you go adopt the enterprise beans. Next, the third is the application will have a variety of clients. As I said, the client might be iOS client, might be Android client, HiOS client, or any other OS devices. It may be a tab client, it may be a laptop client, it may be a desktop client, any type of the input devices. The devices which are connected with your applications. Those are all different variety of clients are connected to our application. You want to connect different variety of clients to your application, then you the very best mode of switching your application is enterprise Java Beans. Okay, so with this I'll stop the class. We'll discuss what is EJB container and all technically in the next class. Is it clear? Any questions? What we have seen today, introduction about enterprise Java Beans, EJB architecture, Then, so conceptually, how enterprise look like. For better understanding, by looking into this, you are able to understand what is enterprise size and what is EJB, what is the purpose of going with the EJB. So, what the EJB servers, it handles the system level services. The EJB developer needs to concentrate on business logic. EJB client developer needs to concentrate on client thinner forms, right? And who when to use this when you want to increase the scalability, and if you want to ensure the data integrity between the transactions client and the application, and when the different variety of clients you want to support, in that case you are going switch your application to the enterprise bean. This is the overall discussion of today's session. Any doubts? Clear? Yes. Is it clear? Now, so now let us look into some server-side component models. So, what do you mean by model? It is some predefined outline frameworks, right? Server-side component models are these: stateless session bean, stateful session bean, the singleton session bean, message-driven bean. These are the server-side component. What about entity Java bean? It is at the database server-side component. Again, it is server-side, but it is database server. So these are stateless session bean. We have already seen how you are going to uh, code this program. Stateless session bean, then stateful session bean, singleton session bean. We are going to discuss all these three, and message driven bean. These are the some of the server side component models. And the next persistent models are, that is database side, EJB and persistent model, that is managing persistence objects. So there is an interface you are implementing, serializable interface for managing persistence objects, and entity relationships you will have a MySQL or Oracle kind of the databases which you are going to build. Those are EJB and persistence model. The problem domain which we have discussed so far is good software implies. So yesterday that one question it was asked by Amit, what is code smart or smart code, right? Good software implies what? What is the good software implies? That software must provide the secured transactions. That software must provide sound and maintains integrity. Means the source origination of the data should reach the original to the receiver. If intermediate in anybody, if they are corrupting that data, if you are receiving, that means again it loses the integrity. So if you are telling this is a good software means that should maintain the data integrity, and that software should be scalable. For example, another example I would like to tell with respect to scalable. Suppose BCCI, suppose International Cricket (ICC), if they are conducting the matches during Corona time, how many number of audience is going to watch that one? Physically, they are booking the tickets to watch that cricket. Less in number because it is Corona time. If the same matches is going with so after the Corona, the booking might be increased, right? So to watch the cricket matches, you are depending on the situation, environmental condition, the increasing in booking or decreasing in the booking. Scalable means not only always scale up, it might be scaled down also, right? If it supports scale up and scale down features by that software, we can call it as a good software. The another one is interoperable. So interoperable. Then another one is robust or resilient. Means, yeah, as I said, scalability, if it is increasing, it should support, decreasing or support. So with the fixed hardware infrastructure, you cannot do this scalable, increasing or decreasing. Increasing means again you need to invest on the infrastructure and you attach the servers or database servers or CPUs, additional CPUs. So to avoid that, nowadays cloud came into existence to avoid the unnecessary investment for a particular event. It is happening with the application, right? So then correct our functions as specified. If the software supports all these features, we can call it as a good software. These are the prerequisites to a finished product. Not a single one is specific to any business. Business, everything is depends on the business nature, business domain. Insurance needs security. Financial transaction needs security. Ticket booking needs security because financial transaction is involved, right? So scalability is required. Depends on the season. IRCTC at a time lakhs of customer is trying to hit your website. There is a possibility of crash down your application. So right to avoid such things, scalability then robust resilient features should be introduced, right? So when you are going with the enterprise applications, if your application, your business needs all this, it is not mandatory. It depends on again with respect to your business nature. So we're breaking up the responsibility in the model view controller architecture. Model is developed by some developer team, not single person. Multiple persons are involved in building the models also. Multiple persons are involved in designing the client forms also. Multiple persons are involved in the middle tier softwares, etc. So we may categorize all code in a system into one of three flavors. One is core concern, cross-cutting concerns, and plumbing. So core concerns are directly you are targeting to the business logic, core concern. Cross-cutting concern is that business logic business needs to interact with the several other set of components like third-party services like API you are going to introduce. For example, payment gateway. Payment gateway is not at all not at all your software. That is a third party service. You want to have that service in your payment option. Those cross-cutting concerns which will be taken care by one set of team. The plumbing, finally, you need to connect the client, you need to connect the cross-cutting concern, you need to connect your core business logic, you need to connect with the database servers, etc. and so on. All those kind of actions which will be taken care by the plumbing team. Clear? So breaking up responsibility in three flavors. One is core concern, targeting to the business logic, cross-cutting concern, third-party applications to be introduced because your business needs that, and plumbing is connecting with all the modules. So one simple application model: user, email, formatting, image processing, client request. Depending on the user client request, it is redirecting to the services. So the core is typically going to contain rules unique to your application, and no one can build it aside from you and your team. So any application which will have a team only, not single person is going to do everything, because it is going to be deployed in real time. Real time expects security and reliability of your application. Okay. So core team, what it is concentrating. For example, take State Bank of India. Many banks are there. State Bank of India is providing the same banking transaction for the customers. Then come to the Canara Bank or the Allahabad Bank or Indian Bank. All are banks only. The what is the core business? Core business is providing the services to the customer like depositing, transfers, a loan against properties or buying the new vehicles, etc. and so on. Right? All the banks providing the same set of services to the customer. What is the core in their rules? Core in their rules. That core kind of things which will be taken by the set of team of developers. So core concern is to reduce or eliminate the energy we spend in everywhere else. Core team, rather than concentrating on designing the client form with a beautiful color picture background, instead of deviating their mindset from the core, they are completely involved in developing the core rules. Those are all called as core developers. The core of an application defines its primary functionality. So cross-cutting concern. The core of an application defines its primary function. Primary function of the bank is providing all these services. What is that? Accept the deposit. So add the interest timely. Accepting the payments.
Sir, 9:30, sir, cloud computing classes, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. Fine. We will continue this in the next class. Okay. I hope
Yes,
you
sir. Thank you.
understood this today. Fine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All of you enter before leaving. Enter your username and name.